Hello and welcome to another video, and yes, today we're talking about GameStop again. Yes, I know, we talk about GameStop a lot on this channel, and that was never my intention, but because these videos have been some of my most successful, and because they keep doing dumb shit, we have to talk about it. So, today's blunder in a year that's just seen a lot of very big blunders for the company is something that I find particularly humorous, and I think all of you out there will as well. On November 19th of this year, GameStop plans to introduce a rental service. Yes, you heard me correct. A rental service. This rental service is called Power Pass Unlimited Gaming. Basically what it is for a 6-month period, $9.99 a month, so at the end you're paying $60, you can literally rent a game for as long as you want from their pre-owned games. It's literally turning GameStop into a video game rental store. Yeah, that all is great and well, sure, fine, whatever. There's one major problem with doing this, and that is very simple. The 7-day return policy, and we'll get to that in a minute. So, yeah, what, like I literally sat down and I read this information, and I couldn't even process it in my mind of I'd heard about this over the summer, that they were testing it in certain markets, but the fact that they're actually gonna go through with it is utter insanity to me. GameStop is really struggling as a company, but this is a real, true, no truer sign of the end times for GameStop have been seen until this thing. Yes, we could argue they're diminishing returns and stores closing and all that kind of stuff are big signs, but the fact that they want to turn their store into a legitimate rental service now just goes to show you that the company is out of ideas. They are clearly out of ideas on how to keep the business afloat right now, and they must really be anticipating a super bad holiday, because this starts on November 19th, so a week before Black Friday this whole program is launched. Really? And on top of it, the 7-day return policy. So let's dive into this whole subject. So if you don't know, 7-day return policy for pre-owned games is as follows. You have, for any reason, within 7 days, you can return the game with your receipt and get a full money back refund on the game. Customers abuse this, that for years they have abused this whole policy and just used it as a rental service to begin with. So I don't know if GameStop thinks by pivoting into an actual rental service that this will stop people from doing that, because your average person that even has half a brain already knows about the 7-day return policy and isn't going to pivot into paying for these games when they can just continue to rent for free, so to speak. Now, yes, there are stories out there of people that get shut down on doing this, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You can't really be shut down at GameStop when it comes to buying and returning stuff. It just doesn't happen. If you kick that up higher than the store manager and you get to a district manager level, they're going to side with the customer every single time. I know that from personal experience in trying to shut people down, because when I worked there, I thought that was one of the scummiest things a customer could do, is just use the service as a rental service. This is a freaking video game store. You're meant to buy and enjoy things. If you don't enjoy something, I don't mind returning it for you one time, but to continue to abuse this, you're a customer, but you're not really a customer because the store's not making any money off of you. So that doesn't make any sense. But I understand why GameStop would come up with this, but unless they're planning to massively overhaul the 7-day return policy, this service isn't going to work. People aren't going to pay $60 for 6 months to rent games when they can just buy the game full price, whatever the pre-owned price of it is, return it within 7 days, get their money back, and just complete the cycle until they're done and they don't pay any money in the end, in reality. Now, yes, will there be customers and consumers that do this? Absolutely. There's always people that try this thing out, but I think this is ridiculous. It's bad. It's once again proves that GameStop isn't going to be around in 5 years. I mean, this is a true sign of the end times for GameStop. We've talked about it in my other GameStop videos, yeah, I don't know, they're getting closer. No, this is a last-ditch effort to make pre-owned games relevant right now, because they're just slowly becoming less relevant at these locations at GameStop as a company. So according to this thing, as I look at it, it says throwback classics and the latest hits. Now, it does not differentiate here, and there's no fine print that is at least legible right now yet, because the screenshot that leaked of this is from an ad. I'm assuming it means any pre-owned game is allowed to be used on this service. I'm not sure though. I don't have all the details. I don't know yet, because this isn't official information. This was just leaked from an ad, but I mean, the date's clearly on this, and this is a picture of a print ad, so it's coming. Whether you like it or not, they're going to be doing this. They're going to roll this out nationwide here, at least in the States. So this is insanity. I can't believe that this is a thing. I can't believe that the CEOs and the higher-ups of this company are so out of touch with what gaming is that they think this is their last-ditch effort to save this shitty company that is just soul-sucking to the employees that work there on a daily basis. Once again, Thanksgiving's coming. You're working Thanksgiving. Sorry. You should get out. You should have got out. This is ridiculous. It just, the whole thing about this entire thing is utter insanity. It's not going to work. It's not going to save them. They're not going to all of a sudden become a new generation Blockbuster that just starts selling games. Remember Blockbuster? Remember Blockbuster? I remember Blockbuster. It was a cool thing. Netflix killed it. It's dead. Between Redbox being a more convenient way to rent movies and Netflix being the most convenient thing of all because you literally don't have to leave your living room, those two services killed. And with things like Amazon and Best Buy offering these incredible discounts on new software, and GameStop not looking at the actual source of the problem, but instead doubling down on what makes them more money, they're only going to become as irrelevant as Blockbuster in the next 5 years, and that's their own fault. It's the CEO and the higher-ups' own fault. They're going to be left scratching their heads in 2 to 3 years when the company tanks and they have to get rid of it or be bought out. I mean, honestly, a couple years ago, and I don't know if this will happen, this is just my future way of thinking when it comes to this stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if a company like Amazon just buys out GameStop when they get to a certain near death, because they could buy that, they could shut a lot of these stores down, they could turn them into Amazon stores if they wanted, and you know, they could churn that whole thing around if they really wanted to. They totally could. And I would imagine Amazon's probably a way better company to work for than GameStop, but I've never worked for Amazon, so I can't speak to that. But I don't know now. Now I look at this with this last-ditch effort, I look at this and go, yeah, no, it's probably over. Like, I mean, oh man. Between the Elite gamer card that is just a bad decision overall, and now this pre-owned rental service that just, once again, they've doubled down this fall on pre-owned, and I think that's a mistake that's going to continue to haunt them. I realize why, as a company, they would want to double down on pre-owned, because that's their bread and butter. That's where they make all their money. They're not making money on new games. That's why they can't offer a 20% discount on new games. And it's so bad when you go to the GameStop subreddit, I see almost on a daily basis someone post a comment or a title thread or something that says, hey, look, I love GameStop, but I'm switching to Best Buy because I'm saving, you know, $13 off a $60 game. And that's, why wouldn't you do that? And my favorite part about reading those comments in those things are the GameStop employees respond, and they literally say the same thing of like, we can't fault you, because they can't. There is no answer to that argument on GameStop's end. The GameStop higher-ups would tell you, well, we have pre-owned and we have trades, but those aren't real answers, because people don't really have a lot of physical games to trade in anymore because of digital, and also people don't like to trade in games anymore because the values are usually way too low to trade in stuff. If I were to pick up my entire Xbox 360 collection right now, which I have about 100 and, I think last time I counted I have about 160 games. Let's say I just plucked that whole collection up, walked into GameStop, traded it all in right now. I'd probably get out of this collection in GameStop fun money, and that's fun money, that's not actual cash. I'd probably get somewhere around $100 to $150 for this collection of 150 games. That's like $1 a game. Ridiculous. So why would you do that? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. And I'm just, you know, I didn't even look up numbers, so that's just kind of a guesstimate, if you will, but their trade values are really shitty right now, and they usually are. They occasionally run a good promotion that'll get people in the door, but that's like a couple times a year now. And they're just, they're I don't even want to say they're doubling down. They are tripling down on pre-owned this fall. And they're not answering the core problem, which is because they literally cannot compete with 20% off new games. They just can't do it. They don't sell enough other product to make up what they would lose on that. And that's why you probably will never see a 20% off new games card, or I don't think they'll ever roll it into that elite card or anything like that. That elite card also is once a year, it's $30. That Best Buy card that I went and bought end of September, that's $30 for 2 years. So that is 2 years I get 20% off. Ridiculous. So, and I think I get free shipping on games that are over $30 or so. I don't know, I have to look into it, but still, that's for 2 years. It's just, there's no comparison. There's no comparison. I'm going to be honest too, and like, again, I'm not an employee of Best Buy. I've never worked for Best Buy. I just have to go where the best place to shop for video games is, and honestly, right now, it's Best Buy. You want to know another cool thing about Best Buy? I pre-ordered Super Mario Odyssey. I picked up my Super Mario Odyssey yesterday. Because I reserved and picked up the game, I got $10 off. I got a $10 off coupon that I can now use on my next game. Like if I go, in a couple weeks here when I get my Xbox One X and I want to pick up Wolfenstein: The New Order, I'm going to pay under $40 for that game. That's insane. Could I walk into GameStop and pay under $40? Well, the Mr. GameStop would argue, well, hey, if you bring in your trades and stuff, but what if I just want to pay with cash, hard-earned cash, under $40? Could I do that at GameStop in 2 weeks? No, I couldn't. That's just right there. It's a sign of better way to purchase video games right now. Yes, Amazon also offers the 20% discount. That was good for a long time. Now it's just pre-orders, and I've kind of slowed down on using Amazon, and I've pretty much just been using Best Buy. I am going to try out the Best Buy online soon. I think I'm going to try it with Okami HD, and then maybe in December I'll make a video on what the best place to buy video games in is. We might rank like Best Buy, Amazon, GameStop, and all that, and have fun with that. But, and I didn't mean for this video to become a gigantic commercial for Best Buy, but I'm just proving a point here that, like, that's ridiculous. I bought, with my Gamers Club Unlocked card, I've bought 2 games so far. I bought Evil Within 2, and I bought Super Mario Odyssey. And I've already saved, like, $30 between those 2 games, now with this $10 off coupon as well. So, and that's just for signing up. Do you know what I would have right now if I would have bought those games at GameStop? I would have paid those $30, and I would have made back maybe like $2.50 worth of money back on their shitty power-up rewards points that just are archaic and they just don't work anymore. It's such a backwards program that just doesn't do anything. At the end of my tenure at GameStop, they tried to roll a promotion where if you were to come in and pick up your pre-ordered copy within the first 24 hours of whatever game you're buying, you would get 1,000 points on your GameStop card. 1,000 bonus points. Do you know how much 1,000 bonus points equals to? $1. That's all you're worth to GameStop. An extra $1 because you came in the first 24 hours and picked up your game. But I just picked up my game at Best Buy in the first 24 hours, and that's not even part of that. But I picked up my game and I got $10 back. I got a $10 off coupon I can use on any game. Even a pre-order game that's coming out. Ridiculous. So it just goes to show that GameStop is literally at the end of their rope right now, and they're grasping for any straw that might make them a little bit of money. And this whole rental service is the biggest fiasco that they've done in a long time. And I've seen them roll out some dumb shit while I was there. We had the credit card fiasco. We had Net 10. Cricket, those big things were really bad for GameStop. ThinkGeek and the collectibles and stuff, I'd argue that those have been more successful for GameStop, but your average gamer doesn't want to walk into a toy store. They're going to GameStop because they want to walk into a game store. And in, 3 to 5 years, as I said before, and I think I said this in the other video that's unreleased, but it's going to get to a point in 3 to 5 years when you walk into a GameStop and it's literally a ThinkGeek that has a back corner with maybe a select few video games that just recently came out. That's how bad it's going to get. Digital is just going to continue to kill them. And they're dying a very slow death, although I think this rental service is kicking it into a higher gear because they're really, really, really not looking forward to Thanksgiving. Another thing I want to point out about the Thanksgiving thing, and I think it's bad that GameStop's open on Thanksgiving, they will only do this one time. That's my prediction. They're only going to do this year, and they're going to realize what a failure it is. They believe they are open 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Thanksgiving. And, at least for me, I've always grown up in a household that eats Thanksgiving dinner at noon, and apparently that's weird. Apparently that's a weird thing. I don't know. That's just how my family's always done it. However, a lot of families like to eat their dinner at 5 or 6. So you're already stopping most GameStop employees from having Thanksgiving dinner with their family, and you're going to be open from 4 to 10. You have to pay these employees You literally have to pay these employees holiday pay, time and a half, because it is a legitimate holiday. It isn't one of those ones you can kind of shadily skirt by like Labor Day or Memorial Day. This is Thanksgiving. I just don't know. Is GameStop going to be busy on Thanksgiving Day? Probably not. I don't know. It all falls down on what their Black Friday deals are, and if it goes off the current trends of the last 5 years, they haven't had a good Black Friday deal in about 5 years. So, like Best Buy, Walmart, Target, Amazon, they've all had better deals every Black Friday. So that's gonna kill them. That's gonna kill them again this year. And then they're gonna wonder, you're gonna get those meetings after, and you're gonna have those conference calls where the district managers are going to be freaked out because their higher ups have come down on them, wondering why the sales weren't there. It's because these games were probably $5 to $10 cheaper everywhere else, because that's what happens every year. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm really interested to see. I'm enjoying, on the other side of things, watching GameStop kind of die this slow death. And again, I don't outright really hate GameStop. I hate the company that it's become. I still think there are a lot of good and incredible people that work for that company, and I encourage anyone who still works for that company, get out now. The times are showing that it's coming to an end. You're working for a ship that is sinking really, really fast right now. Really fast. This is a company that's just hemorrhaging money left and right now. And I encourage you, go get a better job. Get a job anywhere else. GameStop, like, who knows? Like they could bomb out faster than 3 to 5 years. I'm just predicting on the current trend of how they're dying this slow death, it's probably going to be 3 to 5 years, but it could be sooner. This rental thing, I don't know, man. It throws a big monkey wrench in my predictions. So yeah, GameStop rental. I don't know. I don't know. It's not a good thing. It's a really bad last ditch effort to double down on pre-owned sales this year, and I don't even understand how that's going to work. Like, how do you, are they going to have a book that you check these things out and tell people like, oh well, this copy of this game is rented, but then a customer comes in and they want to purchase that said copy? Like, I don't know how that's going to work. I'm very interested to see, are they going to divide up their inventory and have like one part of the inventory is strictly for rental? Like, I don't know, because I don't work there anymore. So I'll be very interested to see how this process rolls out in the next couple of weeks, how GameStop handles it, because I assume from the ad that I read that this is literally going to be any pre-owned game is rentable. Now, I could be wrong on that, but that's what it sounds like from the ad. So I will probably do a follow-up video when more details are shared, because I find this whole thing incredibly fascinating, especially that I don't work there anymore. Just because it's such a stupid thing, I want to see how it happens, like how this whole thing is going to take place, because it just doesn't seem like a thing that's going to take off. I think it's going to be a bad thing that doesn't really net them much money unless they change their 7-day pre-owned return policy. Or actually, right now, they're technically under the holiday return policy, so you can keep a game till January 15th. So, I don't know. So I will be keeping an eye on it. I will probably do a follow-up video on this thing when more details are released, but I just wanted to get this video out there now because this is a stupid, stupid thing that shouldn't exist, and nobody should be excited for this. I feel bad for the employees that work at GameStop, because this is just a gigantic headache, and this is the worst time of year to launch this nationwide. This should be something they roll out in the spring or the summer. Especially the summer would be a perfect time to roll out this if this is the direction the company wants to head. Not a week before Black Friday, when your employees are already stressed enough by getting Black Friday ads up and, you know, scheduling and all that kind of crazy shit. So bad move on GameStop, dumb move on GameStop. It's not going to do anything for them. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about GameStop rentals? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea like me? I don't know. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.